Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. As always, my name is Christopher, this is my grow room. So, a while back I made a video about growing my huge aloe indoors. Well, it's 10 times as big now and it has separated into a ton of pups. And I thought, well, this one needs a new place. So I wanted to make an update video and I was thinking about how to do that, and I have had everything figured out and I wanted to start filming, and I discovered, well, if I separate everything in this pot, where do I put it? So I came up with the idea, you know, I love raised beds, both outdoor and of course indoors. So I wanted to make a raised bed for my succulents. And this is the main batch that I have of succulents. So I wanted to make a raised bed that would fit everything and make it kind of like a succulent only bed. So I would have a place to put all my, I have succulents everywhere here, and I've been propagating a ton of these small succulents that I have in this pot with the aloe. And I also wanted to make sure that my prickly pear cactus, I don't like to touch it, has somewhere to grow and not being overshadowed by a new aloe vera plant every week. So that was my main idea. So earlier today I just started building one. And I just want to show you how I did it. And this is probably not the size, or it's probably not the same bed, raised bed or grow box that you would probably make. But it's an idea, and many of the things and the design and everything is something that could be easily copied and made into different sizes. So I'm just going to show you the video on how I made it, and hopefully you will get some inspiration about that. So let's roll whatever I filmed earlier today. What you're gonna need for this build is a drill and a drill bit, some screws, stain and a paintbrush, a pencil, a tape measure, and a trustworthy cup of coffee. I started out by measuring everything to the correct lengths before I even made a single cut. Then I used my chop saw to cut all the pieces that were required for this build at once. This is a really nice way to do it, because then you won't need to run back and forth all the time cutting the different pieces. And if you have a good plan when you start, it's you really avoid the mistakes of chopping everything wrong and having to run back and forth to find new wood. So this is it's really important to have a good plan. And I ended up with the following pieces: 2 96 centimeter 2x2, 3 66 centimeter 2x2, 5 96 centimeter 2x15 centimeter, 4 100 centimeter 2x15 centimeter, and 4 76 2x15 centimeter, 4 23 centimeter 2x2s, and 4 wooden feet with top plates. I started assembling the bottom frame first. I just placed everything the way it should be, and my cuts were really good, so I wouldn't need to measure the angles of the whole thing. It just came out 90 degrees on all corners, and it's really simple if you use a chopped saw. If you're going to hand saw, then you might want to check with an angle to make sure that it's 90 degrees. The middle beam probably wouldn't be needed on this size, but I wanted to put it in there anyway, because the boards that you're seeing me placing now will be attached to the middle beam also, and it will make it a little bit more stiff and easy to hold the soil in. All the holes I pre-drilled on all the boards, and since I used 15 centimeter wide boards, it just fits perfectly with 5 boards, and there's a little bit of a gap between each board, which I'm gonna use for drainage later. I pre-drilled all the holes and placed some screws in on everyone, and it was it's a really rigid thing, so I can't imagine this this breaking apart anytime soon, so it's also gonna stay indoors all the time. I flipped it over and started assembling the sides, pre-drilled of course everything. It's a lot of work to pre-drill all the holes, but it will you will get it back in the end, because you won't have the wood crack as much as it would if you're just screwed in the wood directly. So all the sides were placed in, and I started placing the corners. Normally on this kind of build I would have used just some angled iron or something like that, some brackets. But I wanted to make it with wood this time, just for the fun of it and to see the design of it come together. I like the view of some wood sticking up in the corners. So all the sides were placed and drilled and everything, and I started placing the plates for the wood feet. So I bought 4 wood feet with attached plates, and I needed to pre-drill some large holes to make sure that the feet would screw all the way in. Once everything was screwed in, I turned it over and I started to stain it with some black paint, and yeah, I think it turned out nice. For assembling the plastic, I used a knife and a staple gun, and of course the greenhouse plastic. First I laid the plastic over the bed and tried to cram it in as good as possible. It was a little bit rough because the plastic is kind of tough to work with, but yeah, it went in there after a while, and I just trimmed off the excessive plastic. I then cut some slides into the plastic to make drainage, and yeah, it was really simple the way I did it, because I wouldn't need that much, because it's gonna be a bed for succulents anyway. So what you probably want to do is drill some bigger holes if you're gonna have it outside. So here it is, the finished product. I'm really satisfied with this raised bed. It's gonna look awesome with all my succulents. Everything that I've been doing in this video, I'll try to make a good description and put it down, or instructions, and put it down in the description. And I'm also gonna try to find some Amazon links or eBay links or whatever I can find once I sit down with this, to just keep it as simple as possible for you if you would like to use this as an inspiration. I would see this not as an indoor raised bed, because I'm probably the only person that would ever have this indoors, but I'm thinking on a patio or something, this or a little bit more narrow or something. It could be really nice, and a fine place for your outdoor plants in the summertime. So next video I'm gonna be transplanting my succulents, everything, aloe, cactus, everything into this raised bed. It's gonna be probably a 2-hour special of me ripping my clothes apart and tearing my skin. So hopefully you will stay tuned and follow me on that episode. Hopefully I'm gonna do it next week, and I'm not sure, but hopefully. I'm really eager to get started with putting things into this raised bed. So that's it for this episode. It's just a build video, no greenery at all, but yeah, it's Christopher saying may the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.